Hello everyone, Fluffy here, back with another vlog. This vlog is probably not going to be funny and silly. It's just about something that has been on my mind since last night. I'm frustrated about it, a little upset about it, and we'll get into that. But on a lighter note, I wanted to share this first. My daughter last night on Facebook, and it really took me by surprise. She posted a meme on my page, and it says, "Do you ever just look at your mom and it hits you like, damn, she really deserves the world?" That was so sweet of her. I was like, oh my God, made you cry a little. So I thought that was the sweetest thing, and I just had to share that before I start into my rant. I will probably address this as a rant, and I don't want it to be a rant because people don't normally pay attention to rants. Last night, and usually posts and stuff don't bother me, and hopefully it's still on here. Yeah, it's still here. Got two trollers. Well, one major troll, and then somebody that I don't guess I would call it a troll because they deleted their comments on my page. I did not delete them, nor have I blocked them at this time. I'm having to shut up Mona. I don't even care. Y'all shut up. If you hear noises in the background, it's my daughter. She just got up, and I just told her that this vlog was unexpected, just to move around the house freely. She's making coffee, so if you hear a shrill noise, she's grinding up whole coffee beans, and I could probably use that a lot more than I could use this. But and then I'll be reaching for some grapes while I'm ranting, and then some string cheese. We went to Sam's yesterday. Only picked up a couple of things. Wasn't enough for a haul. But anyway, it was unexpected. We invited ourselves to my mother's trip to Sam's with my sister. And this bag was like really cheap, like $8 for, what was it, 48? And my daughter's like, "Mom, are we going to eat 48 string cheese?" Hello, this is our house and it's cheese, okay? Anyway, I got the first troller I got, and him I blocked. And it was just calling me, you know, a fat wad, and must be nice to sit on your ass and, you know, eat yourself something. Y'all saw it. Something about the tax dollars paying for me to eat crap. And, well, bye, Felicia. Deleted it and blocked. That doesn't bother me. But before I blocked, I always like to go to their channel, their account, and see what kind of subscriptions. And it's really funny because this person didn't have me subscribed, which I'm glad. I want those kind of subscribers. And he had large people on his subscription list. Amberlyn Reed. The other one who was a lot of drama about, supposedly she scammed her viewers into paying for a casket for her sister, and it wasn't a, you know, last summer drama. Anyway, so I blocked him. The other person I got, and thank y'all for not engaging either one of them, I got a thing from a person, sounds female, but, and it said, the first thing they posted was, "It's unfortunate that people who have fibro won't check out alternative health modalities which can cure fibro easily and completely. They're afraid they'll lose their disability check." And she deleted it, so let me see if I can go. Yeah, see, I can't access the rest of it. So basically, and I responded with, "I don't know who you're talking about." Now, I will assume that it's me because I've stated I'm disability. We all know I have fibro. And so after I said that, Let me get the timeline right. 14 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours. Okay. So then she posts, or this person posts, I've been in alternative health for over 17 years. My anatomy physiology professor told me that fibro is not really a disease. It's a diagnosis made up by the doctors who throw the patients into a group. Y'all, I think this comment really pissed me off the worst. Okay? And then I came back with that, you know, she came off as rude on there, and that there are a lot of doctors who are old school that believe that. I told her I'd be happy to see, you know, you could email me the information, and I'd be happy to look, because in one of her comments she says that she'd watched one of my other videos and offered me her help, or their help, because I don't know if it's male or female, and that they never heard back from me. Y'all know me in my comments. I'm pretty quick about answering y'all back, no matter what. You know what I mean? If I don't answer you right away, it's because YouTube didn't notify me there was a comment, but I always usually try to find them. So I'm assuming because I didn't accept her help before, then I want to stay sick. You warriors, aren't you sick of hearing that? You know, they got offended because the last thing they said, and this is when they deleted their post, says, I just checked back. Oh, my previous response to you, my previous comment got so long that I didn't get the gist of why I was making the comment. I've only seen a few of your videos, and the first one, that's the one she tells me that she offered me help and I never heard back. So the last thing she said when I was telling her that her doctor was old school and stuff, and she got a little pissed, and I told her that she was rude, because it was. She says, wow, I offered to help you to heal your fibro, and you call me wrong and rude, and call my colleague professor who teach at one of our most progressive, modern, and esteemed university in the country. And she finished it off with old school. And then it was right after that she just deleted all her comments, or their comments. And I started to type, and when it wouldn't let me input my comment is when I realized that they had deleted all their comments. I didn't do it. Matter of fact, I haven't even deleted them. So we'll see if they watch this one. When I said the doctor was old school, it really wasn't meant as an insult. My primary is old school. He's been serving at the hospital I go to for over 50 years. He was one of the first 12 who opened up that hospital. He's old school. He believes, like all the rest of them, when fibro first came about. Same thing with chronic fatigue syndrome. That it's all in your head. That it's caused by stress. Yada, yada, yada. He doesn't believe in fibro, even though he's the one that sent me to the rheumatologist to try to find out what was going on with me. Okay? So if I'm able to say that about my own doctor, I mean, how many of y'all have heard that? Right? Especially those of y'all who've had it for a while, who's been trying to seek treatment. It gets old. And to you who wrote to me, I don't want to be unemployed. I didn't want to have to leave my job. I took a half a cut in pay. And because of that, I have to rely on my child to help me out. And that I don't like. It's been a positive because me and my daughter have gotten closer again. You know, even before me and the wife separated. So in that way, it's been a blessing. But that's about it. I miss my job of corrections. The fibro in conjunction together with my eye injury caused me to have to leave the job that I love. I loved it. I was good at it. And when you people come on here, I'm trying real hard to be politically correct because I really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Don't care if I hurt this person's feelings, because you can't sit there and say that I want to continue to have fibromyalgia because I won't accept your help. That's absurd. You know how many charlatans are out there that claim that they have this miracle cure for fibromyalgia? You know, you say you offer it for free. Did you have it? You got cured by the ways in which you want me to do it? You say no medicine or things like that? You must mean diet. Okay? Yes. Eating the wrong foods will exacerbate your fibromyalgia symptoms. Anybody that has fibro, that has done the research, knows this. Okay? And just because I don't stick to that regime 100% doesn't mean that I want to have fibro. You know, if you're implying, you never didn't say it, but, you know, if you'd only lose weight, you'd feel better. You wouldn't have fibro if you were heavy. Skinny people have it too. Okay? I got someone who's very much in shape that has it. That's in a lot of pain all the time. Regular on my channel. So, if you know somebody that got cured of fibro by strictly sticking to a diet, then they didn't have fibro. They had something else with similar symptoms. How many of you warriors would agree with me on that? I can't be the only one. I just can't. So, I know some of y'all, you know, you can't expect me to receive you kindly when you start off your comments with people just want to stay sick. That's rude. That's rude of you to say that and make assumptions. You're not me. You're not my other subscribers. You don't know my story. I mean, I'm pretty transparent here, but you don't know. So how could you make that kind of accusation? You know, you didn't like or appreciate my accusation about your professor being old school. You deleted your comments. Isn't that the same thing? And mine wasn't even an insult. And don't you dare say that your first comment wasn't meant as an insult, because it was. And like I said, most of the trolls don't bother me. You know, I read it, I laugh a little bit. Bye, Felicia. I delete and block. But you hit a topic that's, you know, near and dear to my heart, because I have to live with it every day. If it wasn't a true illness, they wouldn't be able to discover a blood test that can detect fibro. Are there still flaws in the test? Yes, but that's every blood test. That they start off and then they have to perfect it, and there's a word I'm trying to think of. They perfect it, they tweak it. I know there's a word. Y'all help me out in the comments. But if fibro was in your head, how can they do a blood test where the crap shows up in your blood? So, if you would have come to me saying, hey, you know, I've been in the medical field for 17 years, doesn't make you an expert. You know, why do you know more than my rheumatologist? So, my fibro people, how often do you get that? And I don't just mean mukbangers or YouTubers get the same type of comments on your channel in your real life. You know, there's all kinds of memes and stuff that you can post on your wall about people. And I try to think of the people that have made those comments to me, the family and friends on my Facebook, because my page is closed. You know, my job, my former job. So my page is private, but, you know, oh, I'm getting older. You know, I have aches and pains too. Or they ask you how you're doing, and they don't really want to know. They want to hear, oh, I'm okay, for light chit chat. You know, because then when you try to tell them, they start, you know, glazing over and trying to back out of the conversation. But it's, you know, oh, I'm very tired. And then they say, yeah, me too. I only got 4 hours worth of sleep. My tired and your tired are different. But then I try to be polite, or they don't understand because they don't have it. But how often do you get that? Have you ever encountered that from a doctor? Because the fact that my primary doesn't believe in fibro acts in my favor and against me. Mostly in my favor because a lot of doctors, and y'all tell me if you've encountered this too, you go in for a new ache or pain, they know you have fibro, so they automatically chalk it up to being the fibro. They won't do the research, the blood work, or whatever it takes to try to figure out what it is that's going on. They automatically just, oh, you know, it's your fibro, whatever, whatever. Because my doctor doesn't believe in it, he'll do the blood work. He'll send me to the specialist if he thinks that he needs to try to figure out what's wrong. Let me tell you, my doctor was awesome. I have the string cheese, and so the little dogs are trying to... You see Miss Molly Tamale, the little gremlin? There she is. Molly. Oh, she's so cute. Okay. You win the cute award. There you go. Okay. Before I got the fibro diagnosis, I can't tell you, EKG, blood work, MRIs, just all kinds of stuff to try to figure out what was wrong with me. I mean, this took months. Months. And it's the one thing that I can say positive about my ex, is that I would get frustrated and I would start thinking, oh my God, is it all in my head? You know, are them people right? Am I making it up? And I would cry about it. And the wife told me, we're not going to give up till we find an answer. We won't give up. We're going to keep going until somebody tells us, because there's something wrong. This isn't normal for you. And finally, one of the last things that my doctor did, my primary, was send me to the rheumatologist. My wife went with me, and we talked about all the symptoms, all the weird symptoms and stuff that I've been having. And while we're discussing it, and the wife's, you know, telling him the things that she's noticed about me and stuff, the doctor quietly pulls this piece of paper. It's got a lot of writing on it and stuff, and he pulls it out. And then all of a sudden, he starts asking me these weird questions. And one of the first ones was, have you ever just been sitting around and then all of a sudden nausea just comes out of nowhere? You know, and I look at him because I'm sitting here and the doctor's over here and the wife's over here, and I'm looking at him, so she's right here, and he asked me that question. I look at him, I look at her eyes go wide open, and I'm like, oh my God, yes. So then the next question, have you ever just been sitting around like watching TV and you get chest pain or pressure that seems to come out of nowhere? Oh my God, yes. And it was just, he hit on every single one of those symptoms that I had, not really connecting them to the other symptom because they were so random. And then he does the pressure points, and I got 16 out of 18. And that's when he told me. He says, I'm 98% sure you have fibro. He said, there are 3 other major illnesses that present themselves in the same way. He says, I'm going to do the blood work for all 3 of those, But I'm pretty sure they're going to come back negative because I truly believe that you have fibromyalgia. And sure as shit, they come back negative. So I know some of y'all, especially fitness gurus, and you know, you don't have fibro and you were overweight and you started juicing, eating healthy, got on a health and what is it when you start doing your fitness? You know, fitness regime, good fitness regime, and man, you just turn yourself around. And I applaud you. But just because you can do it doesn't mean everybody that's overweight or has health issues, that's the answer for them. Okay? I know when I walk a certain distance and my knees start hurting, I know that's my weight. I'm not stupid. Okay? I'm just really not. Some of my back pain comes from my gut being bigger and it's pulling. I get that. But I have 2 cracks and a fracture in my back. Medical proof that I have it. Okay? So the pain's going to be there. I know that I don't always eat like I should, even for a fibro patient. I know if I have too many of these, I get nauseous and I start feeling like crap. So I try to not have them. That's why my daughter has been doing a lot of coffee since she's been home. Did you make coffee, kid? I didn't even hear the coffee beans. Did you have some already ground up or used already ground? Okay. I thought the grinder was going to go. But to get my caffeine, because I'm addicted to caffeine. If I don't have enough, I get a headache. So for those of you that think you have all the answers and that those of us are with fibro are faking it, want to be out of work, are there a small percentage that take advantage? Maybe. I'm not ignorant enough to think that there's not people out there working the system in any kind of government assistance. There's people that scam. But I can assure you, I would much rather be raking in almost $3,000 a month being a corrections officer than getting the little bit of disability, which, God, I appreciate it. I don't mean it like that. But I have to have my daughter help me out, or I'd be living in my car. Does that mean that I'd never have her as a roommate? No. But I could hold my own financially better with us living together, being roommates and stuff, because we're more friends now. She'll always be my daughter, and I'll always be her mama. And as her mama, I'm always going to try to tell her what to do. It's what us parents do. But those of you with adult children, you find that your relationships do change to a certain extent. But I could hold my own with her financially better. I could have a better car because this one's on its last leg. I could get something that is an automatic that doesn't hurt me when I gear shift all the time, especially when my arms are weak and I have to do the gear shifter. So please don't come on my channel bashing people with fibromyalgia or any kind of chronic illness. You have positive input. You have something that maybe would work, that might help. You know, email me. I'll look into it. I'll research it. But don't sit there and accuse people of trying to scam the system and pretending that we have it just so we can get disability. It ain't as easy as you think. You know, they have, oh, people with fibromyalgia, now it's an illness that they will pay for now, that you can get disability for. It's not that easy. It takes a lot to prove that you have it. For me, you know, part of that for me was my eye injury. Can't have screwed up eyes and be able to watch 600 inmates and watch your back and watch your coworkers' back. Oh, thank you, kid. Ooh. Hot, 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 hot. Look. Starbucks. Isn't that a cool cup? You or your aunt? And got this from the Starbucks in Alaska. Would this be a bad time to tell you that that gazelle-looking Native American coffee cup? Have you noticed you haven't seen it? Oh no, I just got that. Look, I broke it. It fell on the concrete. It was an accident. I love you. Just kind of know. I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to try to make this all day, or maybe we should take a nap and then I'll stop this videotape because I think I'm going to hear it once I... Not a good time. I don't know, y'all. It just hit me the wrong way. It just really, really pissed me off because I know the road that I took to get where I am right now. You know, we have depression with fibro. You know, nobody's going to leap out of the disability office. Oh, I get, you know, I took a 2/3 hit in pay and now I don't ever have to work again. And that may be somebody. But I couldn't stay in a job that I know there's a high risk of assault. And because I can't function like I used to, that person gets hurt. Couldn't live with that. And let me tell you, having to quit was both a blessing and it was a negative also, because I've told y'all before, don't try to be like me, because I don't do things that I know are going to make me hurt. Although, if my daughter ever agreed to go on here, she can attest that here lately I've been trying to push it a little bit with going out and being a little bit more physical. My inspiration was Mona. Martin Nicky's mama. She really rages against the fibro because she's always been an outdoor person, and she even put on the comments to keep moving because, you know, it tells, you know, they say, just like arthritis, if you keep moving a little bit, it'll lessen the pain. Not always, but it does some. The problem is the after effects when you get home. You know, when we got back, was it yesterday or that Saturday? I sat around for 3 hours, didn't get up, sat in the chair and couldn't move because I was sore. But it was my idea to go to Sam's yesterday. And it is an undertaking because I had to drive. I drove. My turn to drive, so I drove the stick shift. Got there. Yes, I used a riding wheelchair, electric wheelchair, inside the store. But I never take the cart from the car to inside or from outside to the car. I walk that. But old me would have just said, no, just let her go, because my daughter, sweet as she is, my mother had mentioned this thing that she wanted to get to help strengthen her back. Something about you put it between your legs, and I don't know if you work it or what it is. But when we were over there Wednesday, my mother had mentioned to my daughter, hey, you know, I want this. Can you order it for me? Because my mother won't do anything online. I told you before, it's all we can do to, you know, try. Every one of us is try to give her a phone. And so all of a sudden, my daughter goes, Grandma, it's going to be here Friday. And my mom was like, what? And my daughter goes, I ordered it for you. And that's just the kind of kid she is. So yesterday, my daughter called my mother and said, hey, Grandma, I just want to let you know I just got a text from Amazon, and that item that for your back is going to be in there today. So they get to chit-chatting a little bit, and there she's on speaker, and then we find out that they're going to Sam's, that my sister wants to get the dog food. Because remember, we went the other day, since we were out and about, because my mother had planned to go with my sister sometime this week. Well, that happened yesterday, so I ended up telling her, tell Grandma I'm going to go. Kid didn't want to go, and that was fine. But then I guess she didn't want to be left out, felt guilty, I don't know what, but she said, I'll go. And I said, no, you don't have to go. You can stay home. I'll just go. So anyway, we all ended up going out and, you know, having a real good time. I ride the electric wheelchair because so I can participate and not be miserable and have the daughter worry about me because I'm broken into a cold sweat. My legs are starting to get weak, so now I get anxious because I do have PTSD from the fall from my eye. Crowds get too large, I start panicking and being afraid that somebody's going to trip me because I'm unsteady on my feet anyway. Somebody's going to trip me and I'm going to fall and break my eye, hurt my eye again. So I'd rather get in an electric wheelchair, drive around, and be able to participate with everybody. It's what I do, but normally I wouldn't have even said, hey, let's go. You know what I mean? I would have just stayed home and vegged. So I'm trying to get better about that. But it's finding that fine line of not overdoing it, because you're gaining muscle and you're moving around, and then you do too much, so you start feeling good. And a lot of us have that problem. We start feeling good, so here is the even where you're doing good, not exerting too much energy. Your body can take that physical. So then you start feeling, really good. So then you go here, and by the time you get here, your body's like, nope. And then you flare. So then you're down for several days, sometimes weeks, depending. And you've undone all that muscle you gained from trying to take it steady. So you have to find that. I have yet to find it because I'm a couch potato. I am. I start moving around and being in pain. I don't want that. So I know being still helps that. But it's not good in the long run. So we all do things that we know we shouldn't. Even if you're thin, you're going to do those things that you know that you really shouldn't. And I'm the same way. But just because I'm bigger than you doesn't mean I'm worse than you. I give my suggestions to my viewers, but they have the freedom to do what they want. I don't go to their channels and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. I only comment like making suggestions when they ask about it in the video. So, those of you that are watching this, because I'm going to title it for Fibro Warriors Only, or Chronic Illness Only, or Chronic Illness Rant, so that people that have it can get on here and put your 2 cents in at the bottom. If you don't have a chronic illness, or the person that wrote to me in my last video, miffed one, you have something else to say, put it down there, but be kind. Don't insult me and be rude and then get upset when I'm not accepting of your advice. But even then, even after you said that first thing I told you, if you want to email me whatever you think's going to help me, feel free to do so. I'm a kind person. I'm a good person. And I don't want to be sick. I wish there was a miracle pill that you could send me and I could even do a week's worth of it and all this shit will be gone. Matter of fact, I don't know if a lot of people know that obesity is a qualifier for disability checks. And my law firm, because I'm way overweight, I'm probably considered super obese, given my height and my weight. When I kept getting interviewed and we kept talking about my case, they kept wanting to put down my weight to help me qualify faster for disability. And I kept telling them, no, don't want to do that. Because with luck, I'll find something that's going to help me lose weight. And I don't want to put that on there. That's, to me, is insulting. The only way it wouldn't be insulting is if I had such a bad thyroid disease that I ballooned up. Because there are people out there that is the case. But I refused to put it down there. I said, no. I don't want to be heavy forever. But I know that if I don't get up my ass and start moving around, I'm not going to be losing the weight. As a matter of fact, I know I lost some weight when the wife and I split. Stress, whatever, trying to get ready for the move, even though I didn't do a whole lot. My daughter and my sister did most of it, like 99% of it. And I had lost some weight, but I really feel like I'm gaining it back. Some of my shirts are starting to fit me looser, but I don't know if that's just a fat shifting around or what, but I feel like I'm gaining that weight back. So, well, 34-minute rant. All hateful comments will be deleted, even if it comes from my viewers, my subscribers. Don't want to lose anybody, but I want you, if you have a negative, opinion about fibro, you don't have to believe in it. Just like that person, miffed. You don't have to believe that it's a true illness, but you don't have to be ugly. You can just choose not to stay or not watch me. Or just watch me because you enjoy watching mukbangs. But you warriors, let me know. I don't mean sympathy for me and this person. I mean your personal experience if you ever encountered people like that. You know, we're on our own. The medical field really hasn't done a whole lot except for that test, and that comes from people that are dedicated to finding a cure. So, miffed, I stand by my comments that I made to you. So, anyway, I'm going to get this uploading. God bless everyone. Positive vibes out to each and every one of you. Remember to always be kind. Always be kind. And I will talk to y'all real soon, okay? Bye.